This morning I actually went out and took a look at a different lease property. And this lease property is just about half an hour away from where I pick up fertilizer, so it's very good. And at the end of the day, okay, this is what I figured. It's about 50 acres, and it's about half an hour away from where I buy my fertilizer. And so and I've been taking a look at everything that I got going on, right? I'm taking a look at everything, and all right, so and so I figured, well, I'll just talk about what I got going on. And so I took a look at this lease property. It's about half an hour away from where I get my fertilizer. When I take a look at my whole situation, the way that I'm describing, the way that I'm looking to describe what I'm talking about, is that the amount of money that I'm making, it's past a point of inflection. I'm actually about to start making a drastic sum of money, and I'm not even going to call it drastic, because I've talked about this in terms of a reality sense. Imagine what, in reality, if we were to talk about it in terms of a realistic situation. If I generated, let's say I generated $30 million a year. If I generated $30 million a year and I worked for 30 years, I wouldn't even have $1 billion. I wouldn't even have 1 billion. Right? Let's just be honest with ourselves. I would not even have $1 billion. All right, I would have 900 million. I wouldn't even have 1 billion. All right, so I'm not going to call it a massive. I'm not going to call it I'm actually going to change because I'm going to describe it as the amount of money that I am making is past a point of inflection. And here are some reasonable ways that I would describe my situation. In terms of, I would say that well, let's just take a look at it in terms of my balance sheet, right? I've already bought everything that I needed until probably until April. I probably won't have to buy anything. I probably won't have to buy anything. I will more than likely I will be liquidating. But here's the situation: is that I've actually decided that on this lease property, what I may end up doing is I may end up taking my heifers over to the lease property and keeping some heifers. Because I have 4 heifers here that I think are really good animals. I have two Brangus ones. They're kind of a small-eared Brangus animal. I have this one, number 13, and then I have the black white-faced heifer. I don't know where she went, but she's over there. I have that heifer, so I have 4 heifers right now that I'm like, I kind of want to just keep these animals. These 4 heifers are very good. They're very solid animals. They're very good-looking, but in terms of the overall situation, this is why I'm considering doing this, because in terms of my situation right now is that I'm making a drastic sum of money. I don't even know how much money I make. I make a lot, and the amount of money that I'm actually making is actually going to go up pretty exponentially, until I whatever, right? But over the foreseeable future, the amount of money that I'm making is actually going to increase. All right now I'm making about 15,000-20,000 a month cash, right? That's just cash. I'm probably making I am making more than 15,000-20,000 a month, but that's how much cash I'm bringing home, right? And and I take a look at my situation, and my herd is gonna grow. Even if I don't use any debt, and I've already talked about this whole idea, within about 2 or 3 months I will be utilizing debt again. All right, the only reason I'm not using debt is so that my balance sheet is effectively, looks better. Realistically, I would like to use debt. But if I'm going to use debt, I would need to purchase like 120 to 150 cattle within the next 3 to 4 months just to keep my balance sheet at zero, not even negative. Just to keep my balance sheet at zero, I would need to purchase like 120 to 150 cattle within the next 3 to 4 months. And I don't, but I mean, will I do that? I will, but I'm gonna buy myself a piece of land before I do that. All right, so let's take a look at let's just take a look at what I got going on, because right now it's very easy to look at the finances because I'm not using any leverage at all. I'm not using any debt. All of the money that I make is mine. It's all mine. I don't use any debt. Right, and so let's take a look at my situation. This is also what I mean by the amount of money that I'm making is actually going to go up exponentially. I may, I'm actually anticipating that by the end of the year, I will be making about 325% of the money that I am making right now. That's what I would anticipate. Sometime between now and next year, sometime between now and the middle of next year or sometime, I would estimate that I'm actually going to make over $1 million a year. I probably will. All right, and that's just me being honest about it. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just being straightforward, honest with you. I'm just telling it how it is. It's at the end of the day, it's the truth. Right? I've always said that the whole thing about the truth is that if you speak if you're honest, at least at the end, if nothing else, there is virtue in honesty. Right? That's what I say. That's my belief system. I'm not here to, encourage you to do anything. I don't care. You could die tomorrow. I don't care. All right. I'm not encouraging you to become a cattleman. I'm whatever. I'm just telling you my truth. I'm just telling you with the utmost sincerity and honesty. I'm just giving you what happens, and I'm just telling it to you. Because at the end of the day, at least I'm honest. Right? At least I'm honest. Right? I may not be whatever else, but at least I'm honest. At least I tell you the truth. All right, so, and here's another way to look at it. Just in the next month. Well, but if I'm looking at these 4 heifers. I'm like, I really want to keep these 4 heifers. I'm going to see if I went and I spoke to the landowner today, and I spoke with him today. And if he decides that, we're going to go ahead with this thing, then by next week, if he tells me, then I will keep the 4 heifers and I will take the 4 heifers over to the new field. That will empty some of the space here, and I will keep those 4 heifers as effectively mama cows. And, but even if I do that, I will still be liquidating 6 animals next month. Or even, I could even replace the heifer, the black white-faced heifer, with this Hereford steer, right? I mean, that Hereford steer, I would say he's probably about 575 right now. He's probably going to be, whatever, right? But I mean, if I really needed to, I could liquidate him too. And so, I got other animals I can go to market. I just take him a little bit early, but it doesn't matter. 6, 7, it doesn't matter. But, I'm actually okay. But let's say I just liquidate 6 instead of 7. I will still make enough money to buy about 12 animals. I will still have enough money to buy 12 animals. And if I buy 12 animals and I sell 6, I didn't sell all my animals. I still have my 26 animals here, right? My 26 animals will be going up in value as long as I'm doing my part, taking care of them properly, right? As long as I do my part and I take care of them properly, and I, et cetera, the amount of money that the animals are worth will actually go up. Right, and that's called an unrealized gain, right? And if I want to see, how much money am I going to make for one of these animals, I can appraise the asset, right, within a reasonable margin, right? I can take a look at the asset, I can take a look at the animal, what kind of body conditioning score is the animal in, what kind of animal do I have, how much does the animal weigh, what is the commodity markets at right now, and what is my appraisal value? I can do these things, right? These are all just technical skills, right? I can do these things, and I can determine how much is this animal worth. All right, and next month when even if I only liquidate 6 instead of 7, I will still be in a situation where, whatever, I pull 4 animals out of my herd, so now consider it as 29 animals, and I liquidate 6. Now I have 23. I take those 23 and I buy 12. I will still end up with 35 animals. I will still be growing the size of my herd. I will still be growing the size of my herd. All right, and so and the reason that I'm looking to buy myself a new piece of land is because I'm in this situation, right? I'm in this situation. Even if I don't use any debt, if I legitimately use 0 debt, my business will still grow. I would actually anticipate that my income probably goes up between 10 and 20% every single month, compounding. So if I make 15 to 20 grand right now, next month I will make like 16.5 to 22. 1 month after that, I will make like 18 to 20 to 26, and it will just compound. It will just compound bigger. I would reasonably anticipate, and it's like, if you don't understand the money, if you're having a difficult time understanding the money, then let's talk about it in terms of cattle, etc. Let's talk about it in terms of cattle. I've already told you in February, and we've already discussed this. What's going on. And, in February, I made this much money, and this is what I spent the money on, et cetera, and this is, what happened with the money. And this month, and now, I'm effectively in a situation where I would anticipate that I don't buy anything. I may legitimately only end up spending $500 on my business for the entire month. I legitimately won't be buying anything until April. And between now and April, I will probably make 17 grand, something like 17 grand. Maybe I spend $500. Maybe, let's just say 1,000. Well, I spent 1,000 and I made 17,000. Then how much money did I come home with? About 16 grand. All right, what am I going to do with the money? What do you think I'm going to do with the money? Think about it in terms of a logical question, right? I've always said that I'm very predictable. I don't go on these ridiculous journeys. I don't, oh my God, now I'm going to just throw a Hail Mary into the middle of nowhere. I don't do these things. I'm a very just, and I've been discussing this whole business plan for months now. Why am I doing it? Everything, right? I've been doing the same thing for like 3 months. I've been working on this thing for like 3 months. I have not changed one detail. Right, I mean, think about it for what it is. What is going on with the farm, right? Think about it. If I come home with 16 grand, what do you think I'm gonna do with that money? I'm gonna buy more cattle. Why am I gonna buy more cattle? I'm gonna buy more land. Why am I gonna buy more land, right? I mean, think about it. If I buy more land, I can buy more cattle. I can expand the size of my business. How am I gonna buy that land? I'm going to leverage my earnings, and I also have collateral. Right? I mean, think about it logically. All right, and I've been working on the same thing for 3 months now, right? And and if you actually go back 3 months and you see what I was saying, maybe I was whatever, right? 98% accurate. Right? And I'm not trying to float my own boat, and I'm not whatever, right? At the end of the day, it just is what it is. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. In all honesty, I actually did better than I anticipated. The 2% that I was incorrect, I actually ended up doing better than I anticipated, drastically better. I was able to reduce my death loss to about 2%. Right? I mean, think about it. My animals are actually gaining more weight than I anticipated. Right, I'm actually making more money than I did. I'm not looking to float my own, but I'm not bragging about it. But I was about 98% correct. Let's just be honest about it. And if you want to go back and take a look at it, I mean, go back and take a look at it. It just is what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. I was 2% incorrect. Maybe I was 3% incorrect. But that 2 to 3% that I was incorrect, actually, I ended up doing better than I anticipated, drastically better than I anticipated. All right, and I even said, I'm working on my preconditioning program and et cetera, right? I mean, I said all of these things, and I even filmed it and I showed it to you. Right, I mean, it's not like, I did it, right? I mean, it just is what it is. I'm not bragging about it. I don't, it just is what it is, and and I don't even know how much money I make. I don't. And the amount of money that I'm making is actually about to go up on a vertical scale. And I actually thought about this, and it's like, the whole idea of money is that up to a certain point, I mean, it's like I don't, it's whatever, right? But I'm telling you, the amount of money, when I just take a look at the data for what it is, the amount of money that I'm making is about to go up on a vertical scale. Exponentially, like multiples, like multiply it to a power, not even 2 or 3 times, like legitimately, like I don't know, square it. It's about to go up on an exponential scale. And if you want to take a look at what I'm looking at, even if I pull 4 heifers out of my herd and I take them to my new field, it still leaves me with 29 animals. Over the next month, instead of liquidating 7, I would liquidate 6. When I liquidate those 6, that would leave me with 23 animals. And when I liquidate those 6, I will probably make enough money to buy about 12 animals. So I went from, negative whatever, I went from 23 back up to 35. And I have 33 right now. Right, I even pulled 4 heifers out of the herd completely, and I just took them to a separate field to have them as mama cows. I still have those animals. I did not liquidate them. They did not die, nothing. I just pulled them out of the herd and took them to a separate field, and I'm going to raise them as mama cows, right? And so I'm still growing my business, right? I mean, my business is still growing. And if my business is growing, it's producing more income. right? So I'm like, maybe I will pull some animals out of my herd and I will leave them on that field. That field actually has access to city water. There are 2 wells on it, and it's about 50 acres of good land. It's black clay. I can grow grass on it. All right, if I only have 10, 15 mama cows on it and it's 50 acres and I grow grass on it, I mean, the 10, 15 mama cows can just graze it the entire year. It doesn't matter. All right, I mean, and let's just take a look at it for what it is. And I'm not bragging about it or anything. If any, I've always said that at least at the end of the day, at least I'm being honest. Right? I mean, that's the one thing you'll get from me. And dishonesty takes forms and many shapes. You're going to find that a lot of people will say things that they don't mean. They will, and a very good example is this, is when somebody asks you for help. A lot of times when somebody asks for help, they're not actually asking for help. They are asking to be saved. That's a form of dishonesty. Right? But me, when I communicate, at least I'm honest. This is exactly what I said. This is exactly what I've been working on. And, and let's just take a look at it for what it is now. And I'm not playing God. I don't play God, right? I keep my good graces with God. I look to keep my good graces with God. I don't sell my soul to the devil for worthless things. All right, at the end of the day, I just run beef cattle. It doesn't matter what anyone, and at the end of the day, I'm the one with the money. Let's just be honest about it. How much money do I, I don't even know how much money I make. But at the end of the day, and I talk about this all the time, if I legitimately felt like I wanted to farm 10.5 acres for the rest of my life, I can always come back and do this. It's not like I lost the opportunity because I went and decided to do something better for myself. I can always come back and do this. If I legitimately want to sit on a 10.5 acre field and make $30,000 a month, whatever it may be for the rest of my life, $25,000 a month for the rest of my life, I can do that. I can always come back. I might as well go for it. I'm going to go for it, right? I've been getting everything ready for the last 3 months to get everything ready to go, right? And I was, 97% correct? Let's just say 93% correct. I was 93% correct. The 7% that I was incorrect, things just ended up working out very well for me, better than I ever anticipated. And I don't take credit for that. Because, things turned out better than I anticipated, way better than I anticipated. I was actually able to drop my death loss to about 2%. I'm actually making more money than I thought I would. My animals are gaining more every single day than I anticipated. Right? I'm actually doing better than I anticipated. That was where I went wrong, right? I legitimately ended up doing better than I anticipated. And I'm just being honest about it. I'm not bragging about it. Let's just take a look at it for what it is. All right, I don't even know how much money I make. I don't. But the amount of money that I'm making I'm actually past the point of inflection. The amount of money that I make is about to go up on a drastic scale. It's not even going to be like multiples. It's going to be like to the power. It's going to be like square it. Like, take the money that I make and square it. Don't multiply it by 3, square it. That's, and I don't, and I'm going to do this for as long as I can until, and then, maybe I hire like a veterinarian. Maybe I'll hire a veterinarian, right? Am I ever going to stop working? Probably not. What am I going to do if I stop working, right? I mean, I've been doing this for my whole, I don't even know how long I've been doing this. I worked every single day, 7 days a week for as long as I can remember. What am I going to do if I stop working? All right, I mean, what am I going to do? All right, I mean, am I going to stop working? Probably not. Forever. I will probably work forever, but, maybe I hire a veterinarian. I will probably hire a veterinarian. All right, so at some point I will hire a veterinarian. Probably will. Maybe I even hire 2 veterinarians. Right, I mean, but I'm gonna do it for as long as I can. I don't think I'll have any problems up to about maybe I think that I can probably make about $1 million a year by myself. I probably could. I probably don't need to hire anybody full time until I start making about $1 million a year. I probably don't. I can probably do it all by myself. Up until then, a majority of it I can do it all by myself until then. Right, I can buy my own cattle. I can do a majority of the animal medication. I can do the dietary requirements for the cattle. I can grow the grass by myself, and more or less, I can run the business by myself too. Up until I get to about $1 million a year. And if I go to $1 million a year and I need to hire a veterinarian, if I pay them 70 grand, it's not going to matter, right? Boo-hoo, right? I went from making $1 million a year to making 930,000. It doesn't matter, right? Even right now, and let's just take a look at it for what it is. It's the beginning of the year. It's actually the end of March, and I'm already making 15 to 20,000 a month, right? That's a fact. That's not up for debate. It just is what it is, right? Let's take a look at it for what it is. It is what it is. All right, and when I take the money that I make and I reinvest it without taking any debt, my business will still grow exponentially. It will still grow exponentially. I don't even know how much, even at this point in time, I don't even know how much money I make. I don't. And over the next 2 months or so, I'm actually looking at growing I'm actually positioning myself to grow my business by about 325% over by the end of the year. All right, I think that I'll actually be ready to go to the bank here in about 2 or 3 months. All right, when I go to the bank, what am I going to do, right? I'm going to show them my balance sheet. I'm going to tell them how much money I make, right? And I've already said that the banker is the one person in the world that you legitimately slap in the face with money. Legitimately, you show them everything, right? I have hundreds of, if not millions of dollars of collateral. I legitimately have like $1 million worth of straight collateral. I'm net positive cash flow, 10 to 15,000, legitimately, it's like if you take a look at the overall balance sheet, it's like, I make like 15, 20 grand and it costs me $1,500. I legitimately am in a situation where it's like I probably have $10,000-$15,000 a month left over. Even after I pay for everything, I still have a net excess of about $10,000 to $15,000 cash every single month, and I am reinvesting that money. And when I reinvest that money's actually going to make me more money, right? And that looks very good, right? That's what I'm going to show the banker. And when I show that to the banker, why am I going to show that to the banker? So that I can buy myself more land. Right, I'm going to show them a piece of land. I want to buy this land. Why would I give you that piece of land? Because here is my balance sheet. I probably have over $1 million worth of collateral, straight hard collateral, over close to $1 million, if not more, of straight hard collateral. I'm net positive. I'm net positive like I'm net positive like $10,000-$15,000 a month, and the amount of money that I'm making up, not making up, the amount of money that I'm making is going up on a vertical scale, right? Money is not for debate. How much money did I make this month, right? Think about it. How much money do I anticipate that I'm going to make next month? It's just going to be a hard number. And actually, let's make a bet. I anticipate that by next month, I will liquidate 7 animals. Let's make a bet. Let's make a hard bet right now. Let's just and it's just going to be for, I guess it's just going to be for keeps. Or it's just going to be for whatever. And I told you so. Let's just make a bet for an I told you so. That's what the bet is going to be. If I'm right, then I will get to say I told you so, and if you're right, then you will get to say I told you so. And if you agree with me, then let's just make it that's going to be the bet. We'll have the people that agree, and we'll have the people who disagree. And the bet is going to be for I told you so. That's going to be for the bet. I anticipate that over the next month, I will liquidate 6 to 7 cattle, and these cattle will weigh about 650. That is what I anticipate. I believe that I will bring home enough money to buy about 12 animals, 14 animals when I do so. When I do this, I will make enough money to bring home 12 to 14 animals. And I also anticipate that it will cost me less than $1,000. That's the whole bet. I anticipate that I will liquidate 6 to 7 animals. These animals will hit the scale at about 650. Body conditioning score, whatever, right? At about 650. These animals will hit the scale at about 650. I will make enough money to buy 12 to 14 animals, and it will cost me less than $1,000. That's the bet. Let's bet right now. Write it down on a piece of paper. You can write the date on the piece of paper, and you can come back to this video and take a look at it in a month from today. The end of March, we'll come back and we'll discuss the bet. Let's just make a bet. That's the entire bet. Very clear cut. And the result of the bet will be, I told you so. Whoever is correct will get to say, I told you so. So let's make the bet. That's the entire bet. I will liquidate 6 to 7 animals over the next month. These animals will weigh about 650. When I liquidate these animals, I will make enough money to buy 12 to 14 animals. And it will cost me less than $1,000. That's the entire bet. Let's bet. All right, that's the entire bet. You can write down the date, whatever you want to do. Let's make the bet. And the bet is going to be for I told you so. If you go back so the bet is now set, okay? And we'll come back and we'll take a look at it. But, but when this happens, my business is going to grow. I don't even know how much even as of right now, I don't even know how much money I make. I don't. I legitimately don't know. And, the amount of money that I make is actually about to go up on an exponential scale. Exponentially. I don't even know how much. All right. I don't even know how much it's going to go up, but it's going to go up a lot. Even as of right now, I don't even know how much money I make. I don't even worry about money. That's how much money I legitimately don't even know how much money I make. But I'll probably end up taking these 4 heifers to I'm gonna get in contact with the owner by the end of the week. Here in about 5 days, I'll ask the owner, do you want me to go ahead and get started? And if he wants me to get started, I'm gonna pull the 4 heifers out of the herd. I'm gonna take the 4 heifers and I'm gonna put them over on that new field. That will drop my herd count over here to 29. And I would anticipate that by next month I liquidate another 6 or 7. And when I liquidate the 6 or 7, that will drop my herd count to about 23. And when I take the money that I make for selling the 6 to 7 animals, I would anticipate that I end up buying about 12 to 14. And I probably won't have to buy hardly anything, if anything at all, until about April. I probably won't. I've just bought everything that I needed. I've already bought it all. I don't need anything else to run my farm. Maybe I buy half a tonnage of urea. Maybe I buy 1 bottle. I will end up buying 1 bottle of antibiotics, but it's going to cost me less than $1,000. It might even cost me less than $700. And and we can make the bet, and the bet is clear cut, right? There's no other whatever, right? The bet is set. It's a flat out bet. All right, and that is what I anticipate. All right, and at the end of the day, I've always said that it just is what it is. Money's not an opinion. Nobody cares about your opinion. I mean, what are you going to do, sue me? Have fun with that. All right, it doesn't matter what anybody's opinion is. All right, it doesn't matter what your opinion is, okay? It doesn't. Opinions don't matter. What are you going to do, take me to court over your opinions? Have fun with that. Have fun with that. We'll see how that goes. All right, opinions don't matter. All right, money is not something that it's like this ambiguous thing, right? And I put a lot of emphasis on this. Money is not some ambiguous thing. Money, at the end of the day, when people don't understand money, I don't understand. It's like, how do you not understand money? Money is so simple. It's just like a number in your bank account. It's very simple. You just take a look at it and it is what it is. It's not like something that you have to deduce. Like, oh my God, if the wind is blowing in this direction and this object is moving in that direction, and then the expanse of space. It's not like something that you even have to deduce. It just is what it is. Money, it just is what it is. I don't understand why people don't understand money. Like, how do you not understand money? I don't understand. How does that happen? Like, how do you not understand money? Money is so simple. It's simpler than basic math. Like, you just look at it and it's a number, right? I mean, it's not like something that you even whatever, right? I mean, it's not even that difficult. If it costs me $1,000. If it costs me $1,000 and I make $17,000, then how much money did I make? It's not difficult, right? It's like the most simple. And if you can't understand the numbers, then take the zeros off of it. If I made $16 and it cost me $1, then how much did it cost? Then how much did I make? Right? It's not difficult. I don't understand. It's like, how do you not understand money? Right, money is very simple. It's not some debatable thing. It's not some ambiguous thing. It's very easy, right? I mean, it's like if you're having difficulty with money, even when I'm going through all of these various things, right? Like cattle diet and growing grass and running a business and the overall commodity markets and the overall asset market in general. And I'm going over all of these things, but you don't understand money. I don't understand. Like, I'm going over all of these various things and you don't understand the money. The money is so simple. I don't understand that. You know, money is easier than basic math. If I make 17 grand and it cost me 1 grand, how much money did I come home with? 16 grand. It's not difficult. It just is what it is, right? And we can make a bet on it. Right, and this is what I call, you know, taking an objective. You got to look at things objectively, right, and determine, you know, what direction, you know, and you need to think about these things, because at the end of the day, and the reason that I put so much emphasis on money is because there is going to be a monetary evaluation involved. Money is not ambiguous, right? There will be a set amount of money involved, and there will be a set amount of money that you make. It just is what it is. It's not up for debate. All right, I mean, you know, and if you have a bunch of opinions, nobody cares about your opinions. I mean, what are you going to do with your opinions? Take me to court? Have fun with that. You know, I mean, what are you going to do with your opinions? Make money on it? Nobody cares about your opinions. All right, money is very simple. It's very simple. And if you're in a situation, I talk about this all the time, if you're in a situation where you're scraping out the bottom, if you have legitimately convinced yourself that you're some money magician and you can end the year every single, you can always just be at zero, that's not good. You should probably just make more money. You probably should. All right, being poor is not going to help anybody. If you've convinced yourself that, you know, being poor is going to be some benefit, oh my God, I got some benefit because I'm poor, then you're going to die poor and have fun with that. You're legitimately going to die poor. There is no benefit to being poor, none at all. There is legitimately zero benefit to being poor. And I give you my perspective because at the end of the day, it is what it is. At least I'm being honest. I'm not some horrible, malicious person. I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you the truth, right? And at the end of the day, at least I'm being honest. And we can even make a bet on it. Let's make a bet. I mean, the bet is already made, right? And then at the end of the month, the next month, we'll just come back and we'll discuss the idea. All right, I don't even know how much money I make. I don't. And at the end of the day, I legitimately make so much money. I don't even know how much money I make. And the amount of money that I make is actually going up on an exponential scale. I don't even know how much money I make. I don't. It's a lot. A lot. I legitimately don't even know. And the amount of money that I'm making is actually going up vertically. All right, and even if I don't use any debt, if I legitimately just reinvest my earnings, the amount of money that I make is going up exponentially. When I utilize debt, granted that I don't leverage myself to the eyeballs or do anything ridiculous, I actually make a positive return on that money. All right, granted that I do it knowledgeably and I really understand what I'm doing and I take a hard look at it. And, and granted when I do that, I actually make more money when I use debt. I'm legitimately not using any debt for like 3 months. And I will still need to purchase like 70 animals. Maybe even more. Just over the next 3 months, 4 months, something like that. But but that's a good idea. We make a bet. We'll make a bet. We made the bet, and the bet will be for I told you so. And then we'll just move forward with the whole thing. And then we'll come back and we'll discuss this idea in a month from now. And then, that's the whole thing. One of the biggest things about, business is that you have to have an idea for what direction you're going. You have to understand that money is going to be involved. Money is not some ambiguous thing. Opinions are not going to matter. I mean, what are you going to do with an opinion? Are you going to sue somebody with an opinion? What are you going to do with it? You're going to get paid because of your opinions. What are you going to do with an opinion? An opinion doesn't mean anything. What are you going to do? Sue me with your opinions? Have fun with that. good luck. I mean, not even good luck. I mean, have fun with that. All right, what are you gonna do with your opinions, right? And let's just say, let's just make the bet. That's the bet. By the end of next month, I will have liquidated 6 or 7 animals. These animals will weigh about 650. I will make enough money to buy 12 or 14 animals, and it will cost me less than $1,000 to do so. That's the bet. All right, and we'll come back and we'll discuss the idea next month. By the end of next month, we'll come back and you'll get to either say I told you so or not, or I'll be able to say I told you so. We'll make it, that's either you agree with the idea or you disagree with the idea. But at the end of the day, you're on. The one side will get to tell the other side I told you so. All right, and I don't even know how much money I make, and it's already a lot. I don't even worry about money even at this point, and the amount of money that I'm making is going up vertically. Money is not some ambiguous thing. At the end of the day, it just is what it is. I don't even know how much. I make a boatload of money. I don't even know how much. I legitimately don't. It's not some ambiguous thing. I legitimately show you my checks. I show you. I just show it to you, right? I mean, it just is what it is. All right, money is not some ambiguous, trivial thing. It's very easy. And if you don't understand money, I don't understand how you don't understand money. Money is so simple. It's simpler than basic math. If I made 15 grand, if I make 17 grand and it costs me $1,000, if I make 17,000 and it costs me 1,000, then how much did I make? It's very simple, right? It's not some debatable thing. It's just a flat out. It's like stating a fact. I don't understand. It's like I'm talking about all these, and if you don't understand the money, I don't understand that. I'm talking about all these various things, right? Like what kind of cattle to buy, how to, condition your animals properly, the proper diet for these animals, the metrics for the diet, growing the grass, what kind of mineral levels do I utilize for growing the grass, what do I anticipate the proper weather conditions are for, optimal biomass accumulation, how to get, business tax write-offs and how to start your business, and, how do I utilize capital and all of these various things that I'm investing in. And at the end of the day, if you don't understand money, that I don't understand how that happens. How do you not understand the money? Out of everything, then you're definitely not understanding anything else that is going on. If you can't even understand the money is easier than basic math. Right? There are a lot of things to go over. Money is not something that I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time discussing 16 minus 1. All right, well, there are a lot of things, that go on. The money is borderline negligible. I don't hardly ever even think about the money. I don't even know how much, because at the end of the day, I've always discussed it in terms of an idea. This does not cost me anything. I make a drastic amount of money doing this. I don't even know how much I make. This does not cost me anything. That's the big idea, right? Why would, if I need $1,000 and I make 17 grand, I'll just take the 1,000 out of the 17,000 that I make. All right, I don't know how else to put that. This doesn't cost me anything. It makes me money. If I stopped doing this, I would hemorrhage money. Millions of dollars, multiple millions of dollars. All right, I don't know how else to put it. It's not some debatable thing, okay? I'm not going to spend a whole lot, because imagine what a waste of whatever, right? Why would I sit here and talk about, oh my God, I made 16 grand and it cost me $1,000, then I made 15 grand. That should be something that you can just pick up instantaneously. It's not like, oh my God, I'm talking about like, the proper mineral balances for your field, the natural, whatever conditions of your field, and how to find these conditions, and, if you want to figure out what consistency your soil is and what pH your soil has, and depending on the weather and the overall interaction between the weather and and the environment, and these various fertilizers and how do they react with your plant, and I'm talking about all, I have all of these various things that I'm going over, and I'm giving you all of these things. I'm not going to sit here and talk about 17 minus 1. That's something that you should just be able to figure out instantaneously by yourself. All right, there are a lot of things that happen. I'm not going to sit here and think about the money. I don't care about the money. The money's already negligible to me. It doesn't matter to me. If I legitimately lost everything today, I would just redo it all in 3 seconds. It doesn't matter to me. All right, the money is already negligible. How much money does it cost me? I don't even know. It costs me negative money. This makes me a drastic sum of money. I don't even know how much money I make. I don't. And the amount of money that I'm making is actually going to go up on a vertical scale. I'm actually doing better than I anticipated, substantially better than I anticipated. All right, I managed to drop my death loss ratio. I managed to increase the amount of gain that my animals were achieving, etc. That there were many metrics. There were several metrics that I ended up doing better than I anticipated. Substantially better. All right, it's not some debatable thing. All right, and we'll make a bet. And so that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.